They say you can tell a lot about a person by how they treat someone they think is beneath them. I learned that firsthand, right in the lobby of Caldwell and Gray. I remember walking in that morning with my head held high, thinking this might be the day everything changes. I had my portfolio in hand, my resume stacked with years of hard work, and I was dressed sharp, clean lines, dark blue suit, polished shoes. The receptionist barely glanced up. "Deliveries are around back," she said, waving me off like I was invisible. I took a step forward and said, "I have a 9:30 with Mr. Gray." That's when she looked at me, really looked, and her face twisted just a little, like something stank. "You? With Mr. Gray?" She laughed a little, then leaned to the side like she was talking to a child. "Look, sir, we don't do walk-ins, and definitely not without clearance. I don't want trouble. Please step aside for real clients." That lobby went quiet. People turned to look. No one said a word. I could feel them judging, wondering what a black man like me was doing in a place like that. And just when I thought it couldn't get worse, security showed up. Tall guy, heavy set, hand on his belt like I was about to steal something. "We've asked you to leave," he said coldly. "Don't make us call the cops." I backed off. I wanted to scream, to throw that portfolio in their smug faces and tell them who I was, but instead, I just walked out, slow, burning inside, each step heavy with humiliation. The thing is, this wasn't the first time. I've dealt with this crap my whole life. Being followed around in stores, being mistaken for the janitor, getting passed over for contracts I clearly outperformed. But this one stung more. I'd worked nights and weekends building a sustainable housing design that won a regional grant. My work was starting to get noticed. I'd been invited to present at an architectural expo. But none of that mattered when they looked at me and just saw whatever they assumed I was. I went home that night, sat in the dark, and stared at my laptop for hours. I didn't even open it. I was tired of proving myself to people who never really looked in the first place. A few days later, I got a call from my mentor, Harold Banks. He's an older architect, black too, been through the same trenches. "You busy tomorrow?" he asked. "Depends," I said. "Why?" He just chuckled. "Come down to the firm. I've got something you'll want to see." So I showed up. And he slides this packet across the table. Building plans, zoning documents, the works. "Caldwell and Gray's building is up for sale," he said. "They overextended on some bad deals. Owner's getting ready to cut his losses." My heart stopped. "Wait, like the same Caldwell and Gray that threw me out?" He nodded. "We've been looking at commercial properties for the Urban Equity Renewal Initiative, and I put your name on the short list of project leads." I couldn't even speak. My hands started shaking a little. Harold smiled. "Marcus, I know what happened there. I also know you're good. Better than good. You've earned this." I looked at the packet again. Blueprints, renovation plans, mixed-use development proposals. This was no small thing. It wasn't just a second chance. It was a whole different game. A week later, I signed the contract as project lead. 2 weeks after that, the deal closed. We bought the building. Not just the floor. Not just an office. The whole damn building. And you better believe I walked back into that lobby the first day of renovation planning. Same suit, same stride. But this time, I had a key card in my hand and a whole construction team behind me. The receptionist was still there. She looked up, did a double take. I watched the color drain from her face. I didn't smile. I didn't gloat. I just said, "I'm here to review the plans for this site. Please inform the current tenants the property's under new ownership." She stammered, reaching for the phone. I'm not sure who to call." That's when the new property manager walked in and said loud and clear, "Mr. Bell, we've been waiting. Conference room's all set." The receptionist nearly choked. And security? He stood in the corner, suddenly very interested in his shoes. But I wasn't there to make a scene. I had work to do. Over the next 2 months, I oversaw a full redesign, eco-friendly office spaces, community-first zoning, affordable rent for minority-led startups, and I made damn sure our new front desk team was trained to greet every person like they mattered. Because they do. As for the old Caldwell and Gray, they didn't last long. After the acquisition, word got around. Clients pulled contracts. Their top partners bailed. They packed up and left in the middle of the night without even clearing out their mail. I found out later that the receptionist was let go during the transition. Not fired out of revenge, just no longer needed. Her name came up in an HR report about previous conduct that didn't align with the new culture. Funny how that works. I never saw her again. Didn't need to. And the security guard? Last I heard, he applied to work with the new team. He didn't get the job. There was a note in his file. Lack of discretion, unprofessional treatment of guests. The system finally said what I wanted to scream that day. You judged wrong. Now I sit on the top floor, sunlight streaming in, plans laid out across my desk, emails buzzing with new projects. But some mornings, I walk through that lobby slow, just to remind myself where I started and how far I've come. I don't need applause. I don't want revenge. I just want respect. And if you ever wonder whether quiet dignity can shake the ground, trust me, it can. Because the day they told me to use the back door was the day I started drawing the front one, with my name on it.